What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. I'm your host, Andrew. Today is Friday, May 28th, and with me, I have Alpha Stoutland.
Hey guys, what's up?
Wow, it has been forever.
Forever, dude. Way too long.
I think once the pandemic hit, everyone was just didn't get a chance to do anything.
Yeah, it really did mess up. I mean, and thankfully I was still working the entire time. The place where I work was not affected by it very much, except, for prices going up on stuff, especially now. But yeah, I'm thankful that I haven't had to look for another job. I was never laid off, and that we were able to work through it. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, it definitely has been an awkward year for sure. It has been crazy.
So you winded up getting your internet and everything working at home, so you got set up at home now?
Yep. So I'm sitting in my bedroom at the moment.
That's
so
awesome.
there probably is a little bit of audio difference, maybe a little bit more of a background echo, but good.
But it has been about a year since I last heard you, so,
this is true.
So I can't really compare.
Yeah. Which my openings I've been doing, I have like a little corner in the room. The echoing has not been too bad in those, so I'm thankful for that. The Blue Yeti has been putting in the work. But yeah, definitely happy to finally have good internet at my house so I don't have to go away from my house to record. So this is awesome. And I actually I could not find a chair in the house that wasn't tied up, and so I'm using a little step ladder with a pillow on it so to sit on. So
I mean, it's been a year with gaming news going on that we haven't reported on, and it still feels like a blur. Like, what came out?
Dude, for real, yeah.
I mean, there was a slow point at one point because of the pandemic. When we last left off, we were probably talking about Animal Crossing having just come out.
Having just come out.
Yeah. You still playing that?
Yeah, not as much as I have been. I've mostly just been trying to, every time Flick and CJ show up, I talk to them and get the 3 bugs or fish to get the model for that respective bug or fish, and I'll look for Celeste to get her DIY and stuff. I really have not been working on my island as much as I would have liked to. That's not the only game I'm really far behind on. There's others like River City Girls, Dragon Quest 11, just so many games I have yet to play. New Pokemon Snap because I want to record it for my channel.
Still gotta get
and the backlog is ever growing and has grown a little stagnant.
You said you didn't start new Pokemon Snap?
No, I haven't. I bought it. I have it. I actually got it on release day, but I just haven't played it because I did a poll on my channel, and it seemed most people did want to watch it on the channel. So since I'll have an audience watching it and enjoying it with me, I was like, you know what? I'll wait till I get a capture card. So I still need to work on that, but hopefully be getting that soon. I do want to do some Shantae stuff for the channel before I start that, so I can at least get Risky's Revenge recorded and out of the way, and then I'll start on Snap probably, and then move on to other games. Did
you play any Shantae games yet?
No, besides the first one. I just played that on my DS on the Virtual Console. But yeah, the other 4 I have not played, and I have not touched because I did say I would be playing them for my channel.
That's what I thought.
So as many things as I've said I was going to do for the channel, that is one thing that I want to be sure to make good on and keep my word on, because there's been so many things I'm like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I just get it's easy to get sidetracked, and when there's so much stuff constantly coming out, games wise, news wise, and now with me, I've got back into collecting Pokemon cards. That's taken
it's so weird because I got into collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards again.
Oh, okay.
Now, not necessarily collecting, but more so getting the cards I need for a deck. It kind of first started so I was always really into the Toon Monsters, for anyone familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh. And if you're not, it's basically, there's like a cartoony version of different monsters. So I was always really into the Toon Monsters when I watched in the anime. But unfortunately the toons kind of suck in the cards. And so they had come out with a card a year or so ago that gave it great support. And so I wound up getting into it thinking like, oh, I can finally use it like a top tier toon deck. And after spending all the money on it to get it, and I started playing with a friend of mine, and I'm realizing the deck still sucks in today's meta because everything else is so much faster now. Like, yes, the support is good, but everything else is better. So I I built a second deck to use as like a main deck, and that is based on the initial idea was well, since I got one kind of crappy deck, it's time to have a really amazing deck. And then there was a monster I heard called Red Eyes Black Dragoon, or Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, sorry. And I kind of started fiddling around with the Dark Magician deck, and so now I have a pretty good deck.
Okay.
And now I'm afraid that monster's going to get banned anyway because it's just too powerful.
So I take it your deck has Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
And a Red Eyes Black Dragon because you need him to get Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Because
that makes sense, yeah.
Now, I really want to get some of the OG art cards. There's so my favorite rarity is Secret Rare, which is I don't know if they have that in Pokemon, but it's
yes,
like the holographic is lines.
Yep. Like
diagonal lines. So since that's my favorite rarity, I wanted to get 3 of the Secret Rare version of Dark Magician, the original one. And for Dark Magician Girl, I wanted to get the one from the Magician's Force booster pack, but it's too expensive.
Oh yeah,
so I can't.
I do have to. I admit, I don't like. I was watching Noah J Pokemon. I've been watching a lot of TCG stuff lately. Like I've said, I've been opening packs and stuff like that. Shining Fates has been amazing, but I was actually been watching Noah J Pokemon as well, and someone actually sent him a little package because he opens fan mail on his channel, and someone sent him a Dark Magician Girl, and I was like, you know what? I've always liked Dark Magician Girl, so why the heck not? I went and bought a card for like $5 on eBay, and so I have her in my Pokemon binder now. So,
So
I don't know. I just think she's cute. I like her design. She's always been that one Yu-Gi-Oh character. I'm like, well, I know you exist.
She's such a classic cutie.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Her and Angelomon for Digimon.
And I don't mean that as like a oh man, my waifu kind of thing, but it's just like the design. It's kind of like how Shantae is like a cute design. That doesn't mean I'm like, oh my god, I want to bang you. It's like it's just a cute character design. In the same way that there are characters who are like real badass designs. It's like, oh, I love that badass. Like Dante's a badass, you know, like so. Dark Magician Girl is like that cute, like the epitome of cute character, where I'm just like, oh my god, it's adorable.
Yeah, she's a good juxtaposition from all the giant demons and monsters, dragons, and Dark Magician himself. It's like you've got all these big, beefy monsters like that summon darkness and stone, and then she's just like, Senpai? And just over here just looking cute and all that. So yeah, I agree. She's definitely one of the better, in my opinion, better Yu-Gi-Oh!
So I didn't realize you were familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh yeah, my friend Ethan has collected it for a number of years, and he tries to play it. He plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and stuff online as well. I think he still does. If you get this, Ethan, correct me if I'm wrong, but he tried to get me into it, and I was just like, I played a little bit online on Duel Links, and I played with it for a little bit, and we recorded like an hour-and-a-half video of me playing it, and I never uploaded it, never had the motivation to, and I was just like, I'm not really feeling it, Ethan. And it's okay to be like that too, you know. Yeah. I'm much more of a Pokemon fan anyway, and Digimon, obviously, the anime was lit growing up, but yeah, like I mentioned, Angelomon also just always thought Angelomon was cool. And of course, I'm a big fan of Agumon and Guile.
Girl of Digimon.
For real, dude. And her and Angemon just both are so nostalgic. They're both just such cool designs. And I love how she comes from a cat, and then he comes from the little bat-winged orange blob of Patamon. It's such a weird jump because everybody else has like 3 stages, and they go from like itty bitty baby to humanoid characters.
The weird thing is Angemon is a champion type and rank or whatever they call, and Angemon was ultimate. She was like a level higher.
Dang! Wow.
Because the cat was on par with Angemon in terms of like ranking. Which was like, huh? That I never understood that, but
yeah.
But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, and Digimon, man, I've always, since I was a kid, I've always liked. Of course, I am a Pokemon fan first and foremost, but I do have fond memories of watching the anime on Saturday mornings, and I think that's where my love of Agumon grew up, because I like Tai, I like Mimi as well. Matt was cool, and just a great cast of characters. I love the voice acting too. I still Tentamon always just his voice always stood out.
Tentamon.
Yes, and he's just I love the cast of characters, man. And I haven't really caught up with it much lately. I think I stopped watching when the season with Guilemon was. Gilmon. And I always liked him because he kind of looks like a little baby Groudon. But
yeah, let's see. Back in the day, I watched season 1 and 2. When I was a kid, and that was what was new. Like as it was coming out. And season 3, I thought I watched it, but there are parts I don't remember, and I think there's a good chance that I might have missed some episodes here and there.
Oh yeah.
And I think part of the reason was because they took this new spin on it where, seasons 1 and 2 like never happened. They were like, it was this season 3 was like the real world of, with season 1 and 2 being like season 1 and 2 in the show in season 3. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right, but basically in season 3, it was taking place in the real world where Digimon was also a fad, and in that it's like they had cards, and I think they had the show or whatever. So it was a popular game in season 3. So I feel like I was falling off of it because I was like, I missed like the characters that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And then by the time season 4 came out, I just like completely fell off of it because it rebooted it again. And looking back at it, with all the new content that came out, and excuse me, they made the remake. They have like a reboot of the first season, which I didn't check out yet, but I wanted to. So what I started doing was I was rewatching it from season 1 again. I found like a chronological timeline to follow the watching orders, and then I kind of was falling out of it again because the English voice acting was a little too childish.
Yeah.
And then I came across the Japanese subtitles, and I was like, oh, this is so much better. So it's like I can finally enjoy the same story as an adult. So I got up to they finished off Devimon and somewhere in the point with Edamon, and I think where I last left off, Greymon just evolved into, or digivolved into, Skull Greymon, because Tai was like trying to push him to digivolve. Yep. And I think that was around where I last left off on my rewatch. But I keep thinking about it, and I keep thinking I gotta get back to watching again because there's so much Digimon that's new to me that I gotta watch. Like I never really watched season 4, and then there was like Digimon Cross or something, or X Sabers or whatever it's called, where it's an alternate universe where instead of Digimon being in like I guess the Digivices and digital space, there's some different kind of creatures in your cell phone, I think. And I'm just like, they're like apps or Appmon. And I'm like, that's interesting. I gotta check that out. But I'm like, well, I gotta get through the first few seasons again because I'm trying to watch it in order. Even though the first season doesn't really impact those seasons, but I'm like, I still want to watch it in order. So.
Man, now you've got me wanting to go back and watch all the first season, second season.
Yeah. Anybody listening, let me know, how good is the reboot in terms of, is it really following it? Like, is it following it exactly? Is it just like an updated look? Is it retelling it in a different way? I really want to know that. That is, if we still have any listeners after a year hiatus.
So we apologize for that.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, everyone was busy. And I was like, I think people will understand. Somebody actually, I don't remember. Somebody messaged in the Discord saying, "Oh, this been kind of dead," and I'm like, "Yeah." When, everybody's a little bit busy with everything going on. So.
I haven't touched Discord in months, just being honest. I have not. So it really becomes a game of, which social media app do I use? Do I use YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord? And just there's so much, and you have to pick and choose. when you work a 40-hour-a-week job and you're trying to edit videos and you're trying to do housework, and it just you really have to pick and choose your battles, where you put your time into. So
yeah. So we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! We're talking about Digimon. Has there been any games you've been playing recently? Or within the past year, like, what have you been playing? And it doesn't have to be something that was released in the past year, but just what have you been playing in the last year? What has Alpha Stoutland's video game life been like in the past year?
Honestly, pretty dry. I picked up Pokemon Sword a little bit when they did some raid den, like the shiny appearance raids and stuff, and I didn't get anything from those. So I did those a little bit. I did play. I think I might have played Carrion when we recorded the last time, and I might have talked about that a little bit, but the Death Spaghetti game is actually a heck of a lot of fun. It's literally a Metroidvania where you play as this giant alien blob of just eyeballs and teeth and tentacles, and I'm not a gruesome gore guy, but that was a fun game. Like, it really was a fun game. And the only thing that the only complaint I really have about the game is there's no easy way, there's no map. Like, everything you do is from memory, and areas get cut off after a certain period of time, and there's certain upgrades you have to unlock before you get there and shut off that gate, and you can't go back and get it later. So it would have benefited greatly from a map. That's my critique of the game, but easily 8 out of 10 aside from that. Just the backtracking sucked. And I guess it makes sense from a technical standpoint because it is a giant blob of alien death. And so it's not like, well, let me check my map. And it just, but like, they could have done like echolocation or something. I mean, Hollow Knight would have been such a different experience for me without that gigantic map. That would have been horrible to trek through. But I feel like Carrion would have benefited greatly from the map. And I think that and Double Cross are the only games besides Animal Crossing New Horizons that I've played in the last year.
Double Cross sounds familiar. What's that?
Double Cross is
I remember you telling me about
13 a.m. games, and it's basically like a mix of Portal and platforming. It was interesting. Once I beat it, I didn't really have any desire to go back and collect all the stuff and get all the achievements and stuff. I mean, it was a little fun game to do the story, and I didn't expect the plot twist at the end. It was pretty good, but I mean, it's a good looking game, and it was fun. It's one of those games I was kind of like, I played it, I'm kind of done with it, so, you know. But, I mean, it was a fun game, and it's the same people that made Runbow 13 a.m. games, so that's cool. Which reminds me, I do have that game that I won in a giveaway from 13 a.m. on Twitter, so if you guys have that, you have that game, hit me up, we'll try and do some some runs together, because I did like a little test run with the Shantae skin and stuff, and it's no fun with one person, so, but yeah. So that's pretty much all I've done.
When do you think you'll start streaming, Shantae? Risky's
streaming,
Revenge, right?
I don't think I will be. Recording.
Did you get the limited run games?
I got the limited run version of Pirate's Curse and Seven Sirens.
God.
I got the Ultimate Edition from GameStop for Half Genie Hero, and I got.
You realize Pirate's Curse is like impossible to get.
Huh?
I said you do realize Pirate's Curse physical copy from limited run is like impossible to get right now.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I pre-ordered it when it popped up. So
I think when it first popped up, because at the time they weren't doing open pre-orders, they were just doing pre-order while you can, like while we have availability. So it had went like that, and I think I remember just missing it and jumping onto eBay and getting a copy right after. So I might have spent only a little bit extra, like $100 or something, and I was worth it. Not realizing now, if you want a collector's edition now, it's $1,000, and just a physical regular version is $500. It's that might be the rarest game I own.
Okay, yeah.
So you actually have the physical copy of Pirate's Curse.
Yep. Yeah. So I cracked it open and just looked at the little guide and stuff and the cool collector's card that comes in it, and I've taken off the plastic wrap and all that. Same thing with Seven Sirens. But yeah, the box looks really cool. I'm very excited to play it. It's just I want to play them all in order.
Yeah.
And I have, so like I said, those three I have physical. But
why? I mean, there's the continuity is like it's not too strict, but
Mhm.
Pirate's Curse definitely picks up after Risky's Revenge. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's a basically, without spoiling anything, there's a reason she's using pirate gear and not magic transformations. So
Yeah, I do know that much. I do know that she loses it at the end of Risky's Revenge. I have had some stuff spoiled, and I know who the big bad boss of Pirate's Curse and stuff is because the internet exists. So I have somehow managed to avoid spoilers for the end of Half Genie Hero and Seven Sirens, though. Seven Sirens, for the most part, I kind of know who the big bad is for that too. I just don't know what all goes into her boss battle and all that. But yes, Pirate's Curse, I pretty much, which I mean, it's kind of just, oh, that makes sense why that would happen. So
yeah.
But
And what I didn't realize when Half Genie Hero came out and like, oh, she could transform again. I didn't realize because I think this was just optional stuff, and I don't know if I actually did this or not in Pirate's Curse, but I don't know if it's post-game or during the game, but you can basically collect these things that ultimately lead to you getting your powers back, and that's why in Half Genie Hero she has powers again. And I didn't know that, so I actually like researched that and found that out. I was like, oh, okay, makes sense, because I was like, wait a second, she doesn't have her powers anymore. How does she transform? Are they really rebooting the series? I was like, and it like messed with my OCD, and I was like, oh my god, what? This doesn't make sense. Were they rebooting it? They're just throwing the first two games out? Or are they just ignoring the fact that she lost her powers? And then I realized, oh, okay, and you can actually get her powers back in Pirate's Curse. I was like, I didn't know that.
which magic mode's in that game as well. So is that like unlocked by doing that, or?
I don't know. I didn't even know there was a magic mode.
It's the what is it, Space Princess mode where she's got the braided hair and the gold bikini.
In Pirate's Curse or Half Genie Hero?
Pirate's Curse. Oh, are you talking about Half Genie Hero or Pirate's Curse? Where you
I was talking
get
about
magic
Pirate's
powers
Curse.
back. Okay,
Pirate's-
yeah. That's like a bonus mode. I think it's in. Yeah, it's Risky's Revenge as well. So it's in both of those games. But I didn't know if that was like tied in to being unlocked by getting all the parts, or if you just unlocked it after beating the game. So I wasn't sure.
I did do the bonus mode where you play as her friends in Half Genie Hero, and that was just like, for some reason, so difficult. I don't know why they made it so hard. I was like, this really needs a casual mode for people who just want the story, because even I was getting, I beat it, but even I was getting like real frustrated. Like, it was a little too challenging. It was fun using her friends. Like, you swap them out on the fly. Like, you switch from Bolo to Sky to Roddy Tops, like with the press of a button, and they each have their own, like, quote unquote gimmick, their own power. But like, you all share. What is it? You all share the same amount of hearts or something. It's like you have 3 hearts, so you can only get hit like a few times.
Oh, wow.
And it's like they just made it too difficult. And again, I beat it. So for all the people who want to say get good, just shut up. But
He got good.
like you gotta understand. It's, you know, there are people or kids or whoever who just want the story, and like, I don't think that they're not gonna play it. They're gonna give up. And it's like, well, don't you want them to understand the story too? Like, at least if you want the really challenging part to be the normal mode, fine. But, you know, maybe add in an easy mode that's just for people who want to see what's the friends doing and whatnot. But anyway, I wanted to get into some news that recently came out about Sonic and about Dragon Quest and about I feel like something else came out recently. Oh, Monster Hunter. I'm thinking of like the directs that in the past couple of days they've had these live streams. Now, since you're not really into Monster Hunter, I'll just say real quick, there's like new DLC and for Monster Hunter Rise. I'm really into that. That's a lot of fun. But I also, like, after I beat it, I started playing Xenoblade Chronicles because I really want to play the Xenoblade series. And so I just keep getting distracted by side quests in Xenoblade. Like, have you played Xenoblade?
I have not.
Okay, there's like so many side quests. It's like, oh, can you kill these monsters for me? And I'm like, I guess so. And because like my OCD, I don't know how many times I'm gonna bring up my OCD, but I'm just like I can't move on with the story until I help these people.
Yeah. It's like, what if I forget to go back and help them?
It's just gonna build up, and I'm gonna have this huge catalog of side quests at the end. Just like and then some of them have like a little clock or timer symbol, which means that like after a certain point in the story, you can't do those side quests anymore. I'm like, I have to do these ones. So that's what I'm playing right now. And then Dragon Quest had their 35th anniversary stream. They announced 6 titles. One was, I don't know if we're gonna get it in English or not. It's like Kishi or something that means like erase, and it's like a little puzzle game. Kind of reminds me of Pokemon Traze, or in the sense that they're like little icons of Pokemon, and you do some kind of puzzle thing with it. So the reason I don't know if it's worldwide or not is because the next game they showed was the newest version of Dragon Quest X, which is still going on after 10 years.
Wow.
And they specifically said there are no plans for a worldwide release, but they didn't say that for the cell phone game before that, so I don't know. Then the third announcement was an offline version of Dragon Quest X, but they also did not say no worldwide release. They only specifically said no plans for a worldwide release for Dragon Quest X Online. So the offline mode, or the offline game they made, they changed the art style where they're kind of like chibi, which I'm like, okay. But they didn't say anything about no worldwide release. But they didn't say there would be. They're just saying, we got an offline version now for people who don't need to go online. They could experience the story, solo it, and I'm like, give us that, please. Because Dragon Quest X came out 10 years ago, and we got Dragon Quest XI, and I'm like, where's 10? Like, where's Dragon Quest X? Even though it has no relation to the other games, I still want to play a main game. Mm-hmm. I don't know where we last left off, but I finally beat 1 through 9. So,
okay, cool. I know you were working on it while when we last recorded.
Yeah. They expressed interest in remaking 9 for the Switch, and I really, really thought that they were going to announce that in the anniversary, and they did not. Which I was disappointed a little bit, because I was like, it would have been cool to re-experience 9 with, like, because the way 9 is set up, there's a lot of like the street pass or whatever on the DS, where like you pass somebody or you get stuff online. And so when I was playing Dragon Quest 9 maybe last year, like I didn't have access to any of that stuff because like the online thing, I think it was shut down, and nobody's street passing each other anymore, especially not during the pandemic. So I'm like, I didn't get to get the full experience that I was supposed to when I first played it. So I'm missing out on like these bonus costumes and stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm never going to get these unless I action replay it or something. So I was like, if they remake this for Switch, not only will the graphics be so much better, but also I would finally be able to truly enjoy the like the fan community aspect of it, or whatever you would refer to that, walking past people or playing online, getting stuff. I was like, this could be so awesome on the Switch now, and they didn't announce it. But they did announce a remake of Dragon Quest 3, and that looks amazing. It's like the same, I think it's the same team who did Octopath Traveler.
Oh, so wow.
It's basically that in terms of the style. And it looks gorgeous, because Dragon Quest 3 is my favorite of the Dragon Quest games. And I'm like, alright, they're bringing over, like, a beautiful version of Dragon Quest 3. So, Alpha, I really hope you try it out when it comes out.
Dragon Quest 11 is one game that I want to really finish, because I was really enjoying it. I think I got to the town where you get Jade and I forget the old man's name, but where you add them to your team. Because
I didn't actually just play 11
there,
so I don't know anything about it yet.
Okay.
I was kind of hoping they would announce 10, and then I could play 10 before 11. Mm-hmm. But they, now I'm like, maybe we'll get it. So I'm kind of like, I'm like, I guess I can hold off on 11 a little bit longer because I'm playing a bunch of other stuff right now. But I'm like, I'm gonna be itching to play 11 soon. But I am really excited for. It's called Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, and Yuji Horii, which is, I don't know his exact title. I don't know if he's the creator or the writer or what his exact role in Dragon Quest is, but he's I guess, considered like the father of it. I don't know if he's like the lead in Dragon Quest, where Akira Toriyama does the design. I forget who the guy is who does the music, and yeah, I guess Yuji Horii is the guy who does like the story and everything. But he kind of let slip that they were going to also remake 1 and 2, and it was funny during the stream. They would have like this loud whistle blow noise, like if like somebody said something they couldn't. So he's like, yeah, and we were thinking, since 3 leads into 1, we might do 1 and 2, and then like they started blowing the whistle, and I'm like, oh, I guess they just gave it away. And then he's like, no, he was trying to, I guess he was backtracking, but also it made sense what he said. He was saying how he's not saying that they're gonna work on it, but he's saying that it would make sense and he would like to. And I'm like, okay, but chances are if they whistle blew it, that they know that the plan is to actually do it. Yeah. So the whistleblowers leaked it, not him. So like, I understand if you're like, oh yeah, since 3 leads into 1 and then 2, we would like to do 1 and 2. Like, yeah, you can say we would like to without saying we're doing it. And then they started blowing the whistle, and I'm like, oh, thanks for letting us know that he's gonna work on it. And then the 5th announcement was, what did I say so far? I said the mobile puzzle game, Dragon Quest X online, new version, Dragon Quest X offline, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. Was there 6 announcements? I know one of the last ones was
you said the Troze style one.
Yeah, that was the first one I said. There's like the puzzle one, the 2 versions of 10, the remake of 3. They did finally give a teaser for Dragon Quest 12, but we don't know. They didn't show a proper trailer, but they showed a name. It's called Dragon Quest 12: The Flames of Fate. Ooh. And they said that it's going to be a little more adult targeted, which I find interesting. Because really thinking about it, some of the Dragon Quest games are mature in a sense of like the story. Like for example, Dragon Quest V is like, if you think about it, I mean, yes, the art style and everything is very bright. It's like, but the story is very dark. Like, you get kidnapped, or like your father dies and you get kidnapped, and then you become a slave for like 10 years or something, and it's just like so dark, but the style is not. So maybe they're referring to the style and maybe the way they tell the story, and not necessarily the story itself. But they also said that they were going to change up the battle system, which I'm a little worried about, because turn-based is nice.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to say, I do like the simplicity of the battle style in Dragon Quest. That was a nice change of pace from what I've seen of other action RPGs.
Yeah. Now, I don't mind changing up the style if you can also choose the old style. Because I just prefer turn-based, because I like being able to take the time to think about how I want to approach a battle. Mm-hmm. So when it's action, like Pokemon, like no matter, as long, it's still like you get four attacks, and like it's been the same. And people might complain about that, but honestly, I like how Pokemon has stayed the same in terms of battle, because that is Pokemon battle,
That's like, one of the components that's one of the main things of the series. That's one of the main pedestals of the series. Yeah.
I feel like if you want to experiment with a certain aspect of a game, that's where you do it in spin-offs. So I'm like, maybe if you want to redo the battle system, you should experiment in a spin-off first.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe they know what they're doing. I don't know. They're like, he was saying they don't even have, like, they're working now on I can't even talk. Oh my god. They're working on prototypes of the battle system right now, and they think it's fun. So I'm like, if they're only working on the prototypes of the battle system right now, they must really be in the early stages of development for this game. But I can't remember what the other announcement is. Whatever. Someone will yell at me. But anyway, then did you see the Sonic stream or hear anything about it?
I heard that Sonic Colors got a Ultimate version?
Yeah, Sonic.
I haven't seen the trailer for it yet, but I was going to, and I just neglected to do it.
Yeah,
that's the one with the what are they? Savage 6, Sinister 6. What are they called?
No, the Zeddy.
Yeah.
They're in Lost World. They're not in Colors.
Okay.
Colors is before Lost World, so they weren't even introduced yet. But
gotcha.
They seem to be adding new content in this version, so it really is like an ultimate version. And people have been pointing out stuff like they saw an icon of Tails for the lives in one of the screenshots, and they're like, "Oh, can you play as Tails in this?" So, which you couldn't before. So they might actually be really like pimping this game out.
Okay.
Which is exciting. They announced like a 2-episode short that takes place, I guess, during Colors. Metal Sonic was in it, which you see like Sonic and Metal Sonic clash, and it's very reminiscent of the moment in the OVA when they clash, and Sonic's like, what's that famous line where he says something like, you may know everything I'm going to do, but that doesn't matter because I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? Or something similar to that. And it was like the moment when they clash, where like their hands clashed with each other. I was like, is this a callback to the OVA? But yeah, those were some of the news recently. Too bad Papagenos couldn't be on today because I wanted to talk to him about. Have you seen his recent video?
About
Smash, where he thinks that the next character is gonna be Master Chief, and I could kind of see that, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, I know you want Master Chief, right?
Oh heck yeah, Chief, Sora, and Shantae, still my top 3, and yeah, it just
I forgot who it was. There was somebody credible who was saying that they think
Imran Khan. Yeah. He felt either Master Chief or Sora would be the big breadwinner character of the second Fighter's Pass, and so like, we still haven't seen that character. And E3 is the best place. Well, I say that E3 or the final character in the entirety of DLC for Smash Ultimate. Either of those would be amazing additions.
What if E3 announced both Master Chief and Sora?
Oh, I'd die. I would be sad as all get out, though, because Shantae would be non-existent.
I feel like
it'd be so bittersweet.
I feel like she's lost all hope, even though I still really want her. I just feel like all the times that she could have been announced have already happened.
You never know, man.
No, you never know. But
that's the thing. Expect the unexpected and keep hope up, because you never know. Who would have thought that Sephiroth and Pyra and Mithra would have gotten added? I mean, seriously, just no. I don't think anybody saw those coming. So, and I just love the fact that we're getting spirit characters as characters now, and that's another fan rule that's been debunked. So,
I gotta say, I'm a little salty that they're even ending it after Fighter's Pass 2, when games like Fortnite and other popular games are constantly going on with new seasons. I'm like, is the Fighter Pass not as profitable for Nintendo to not consider a third Fighter's Pass?
They may very well, man. And at the very least, even if Sakurai isn't like the main part of it, he can still have a hand in it. I agree Sakurai needs a break, but I feel like, I mean, this is still his baby, so he needs to have some hand in it. Just don't let him have. I mean, let me say it like this: don't make him have to do all of this work. I mean, he has a team for a reason. He can oversee
it. I mean, but he seems like a very workaholic that even if you tell him to only oversee it, he's still going to jump in and take it over.
This is the man who came from the hospital with an IV drip working on Melee. I mean,
exactly. So,
which is awesome to show his dedication to his craft, but it's also obviously taking a toll on his health. So it's great that he's that passionate and gung-ho about Smash, but the man does need a break. I agree. And I think I speak for every Smash fan when I don't want Smash Ultimate DLC to end. I want to keep seeing characters. I want to keep seeing fan favorites get added. I want to keep seeing, new and relevant characters like we saw with Inkling in Ultimate and other characters. It just there's so many good characters to add. you don't want it to stop because there's always like, well, this character could have gotten in. Well, this character would be great in Smash. I wish this character had gotten in. Yeah, this character got in, but this character could have gotten in too. So it just, there's so many picks, even that have been debunked since then. Since
the only thing I could think of is that the rumored newer version of the Switch, they could maybe, like, I don't want to say port because it's still Switch, but they can, like, just take everything they have now as a base and then continue to build off of it. But I feel like there's no point in doing that because a Switch Pro is still a Switch.
Yeah, plus then people would be salty because it's like, well, I just bought both Fighters Passes, so why would I get this game when I can just play it on my old Switch? So,
yeah, unless they do something where, like, you can move your save data over and and like the newer version will have, which, like, I'm fine. Like, if you want to end the Fighters Passes, you know, and not have a third one, that's okay. But the problem is that we all know the next Smash game is going to be significantly have significantly less content, or at least significantly less characters. I'm like, returning characters is always the big thing. Like, people want their characters, and I don't understand why either continue this because the Switch is still going strong. We're not at the end of the Switch's life cycle. So, like, this is the perfect opportunity to just keep pumping content into that game.
Oh yeah.
The alternative is when the next Smash Bros. Game comes out, make sure everything, like, all the characters return, which they're not going to. So
yeah, there will never be another Ultimate for sure.
It's just
as far as the roster goes. I mean, it just, yeah, man. We'll probably never see another Cloud and Sephiroth edition. We'll never see, who knows, like,
probably
all these
Snake
other.
will never come back.
Exactly. It just, there's so many characters. It's like, if they hadn't gotten in here, Banjo and Kazooie, Steve, so many characters that were added to this game that we very well may never see in Smash again, and it's just, it's bittersweet. It makes this game that much more grand, but at the same time, it's like, man, we'll never get to have these characters in the same game ever again. So I feel like Ultimate 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now is going to be a great time capsule of gaming and just the history of gaming. And it's just, that's why I think it's so hard to see this as the last two characters, because it's like there's so many more characters that either would fit great or, in my humble opinion, belong in Smash. And because there's Crash, Master Chief, Shantae, Sora, Rayman, Geno, so many characters. Even ones like Geno have been debunked. It just, and it's just, it's bittersweet. It's an amazing game, but all good things come to an end.
I cannot comprehend or fathom why it would end. Like, yes, and maybe I sound spoiled or like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like entitled.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not trying to be. I'm just I'm coming at this from an angle where there are so many old games that are continuing. Look at, like I just said even before, Dragon Quest X is 10 years old and they're still putting new content in it.
Yep.
Why is Smash not able to do that when it's probably bigger than Dragon Quest X?
I mean, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got released in 2014, and it got ported to the Switch, and then it's still getting regular updates.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure Smash will get updates for balance patches at least, but or like new Spirit events. But I don't understand. Like, is it not profitable to add new characters? I don't understand that.
And like, I'm sure it is. There is a pretty penny that comes with getting other companies' characters, but at the same time, that's free advertisement for that company. So it's like everybody wins. We get a great character. Nintendo gets money. The third party gets money. The third party gets their character shown in Smash, which builds credibility for them and is like gets eyes on their character. And then it's like, well, let me play this game from this company. And if that game is on the Switch, then Nintendo benefits more from it. And then if it's a character that's popular, then the Switch gets more product off the shelf. There's more people buying the passes and the DLC. So it's just all around. It's just like everybody benefits from it. So I feel like even if it is pricey, you make your money back. You please fans. You add to the metagame.
Why would they not continue? Like there's got to be a good reason, and I don't know what it is. Is it like? Is it Nintendo supposedly the richest company in Japan?
I think they recently just gained that title. Yeah.
So you can't tell me they can't afford to make a third Fighters Pass. There has to be some reason, and I don't know what that is. And it really bugs me to see games like Fortnite and I don't know what else people are playing nowadays, but like Among Us or whatever, but that are getting new seasons. What's that first-person shooter game with like those popular characters?
Team Fortress 2?
No, but I guess that's another example.
Which it's kind of been left by the wayside too by Valve.
Overwatch
Valve really hasn't.
Was what I was saying.
Overwatch, yeah. Oh yeah.
And then even like these, I think they're free to play games like League of Legends and stuff. They're constantly getting updates.
Oh yeah.
And the reason, I'm sure they're profiting and making money from their updates. So why can't a game like Smash get constant updates? Or not even constant, but like every once in a while get like a new character or something. Like even if there's no more new Fighters Passes, like maybe once a year they can announce a new character, just to like show like, hey, this is still going. Maybe not at the same rate as it was, but we're still gonna put up new content. And I think like one character a year is enough to give Sakurai a break and still make everyone, including Nintendo, happy because they're gonna make more money. Like I don't understand why they would end it. The only thing I can think of is Nintendo telling Sakurai, you need to take a break. But I feel like they wouldn't do that if they have money to make, and it's unless Sakurai's the one saying, I don't want to do it anymore. Which I feel like he also wouldn't say that. So I'm just going in circles. Like, why the heck are they ending this?
Yeah.
Unless they're going to surprise us with the third Fighters Pass, which I don't
we
think
didn't think there'd be a second one, so you never know.
Yeah, but I really feel like the second Fighters Pass is like, this is all the stuff we wanted but couldn't get, and finally we're just finally topping it off with the stuff we wanted to put in. That's what it feels like. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where it started. Who was the first character?
Min was... Yeah, because Arms missed the boat, and so they added a character from Arms. And then Steve was the big...
For like 5 years.
Yes, exactly. So. And was the big blowout reveal like, oh my gosh, Minecraft's and Smash. Then Sephiroth came, and it was another villain rep.
Not only
Final Fantasy finally got more content.
Yeah. They finally actually gave us Final Fantasy content.
Yes. So, dude, One-Winged Angel... That Advent remix is
the only thing I dislike is the okay, I got two problems with it that they're nitpicks really, which I think some people might bother them. One is we didn't get the Final Fantasy VII remake version of One-Winged Angel, which is just about as badass as the Advent Children one, but slightly different. And the other thing was Cloud and Sephiroth still don't have English voices.
Yeah, man. And that's like some union deal, like the guys that play them.
But don't tell me the richest company in Japan can't get English voices.
Oh, I know. It's funny because we now have English speaking Marth, but we don't have English speaking.
They made a big deal out of it too. Back when he was announced, like, oh yeah, we finally got Marth to speak English. I'm like, okay, what about Cloud?
Exactly. Fun fact, the guy that plays Marth is actually Yuri Lowenthal. He plays Ben 10 as a teenager. He plays Spider-Man in the PS4 game. He plays, I think his name's Luca in Bayonetta. He's very prolific. He's a very prolific voice actor. So
Naruto.
Oh, okay.
So every voice role of his I just see as Sasuke because that's the voice I'm most familiar. That's the downside to voice actors having multiple roles, and I'm happy for them getting work. That's great that they have multiple roles. Like, that's awesome, and I love following voice actors that I love, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's his voice, But The downside to it is I get so attached with putting a voice to a character that when I hear that voice coming out of a different character's mouth in a different series, I'm like, oh, this feels weird.
Yeah, that was me playing River City Girls, because then one of the girls was played by Christina V, obviously who plays Shantae, and I heard her and I was like, that just sounds like a diva Shantae. It was so weird.
That's the problem.
So, yeah.
Even she plays Ladybug in Miraculous Ladybug, or as people more commonly know it by the French version is Ladybug and The Adventures of Ladybug and Chat Noir. But I watched the English one, so I'm like, yeah, Shantae and Ladybug have the same voice. Like, that's great. I love Christina V's voice acting, and I always get excited when I spot her voice in another character. But whenever I spot her voice in another character, I'm like, oh, that's not the right character. That's someone else.
Yep.
And that goes for most voices I hear. And that's nothing against the voice actor at all, or the casting or anything. It's just it's the unfortunate downside of, I guess, someone playing multiple roles. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, when you watch South Park and it's like two guys doing almost everyone, it's like there's a different feel to it because you're used to it from the beginning. I don't know, because it's like from the very beginning it's a joke, and then it's like, oh, haha, it's the same voice. But like, I mean, it's so weird when like Shantae and Marinette have the same voice, and Sasuke has the same voice as this other character, and it's like, no, that's not that character, that's Sasuke. Stop calling him something else. Call him Sasuke.
Yeah,
it's just so weird. So, yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about from our, for anything that's been happening recently?
Well, like I said, I almost felt bad saying I was good to record, because I feel like I don't have anything to bring to the table, because like I said, I haven't played anything besides Animal Crossing, and even then it's been very just get all the stuffs. So, but yeah, like I said around the beginning of the episode, I have started getting back into collecting Pokemon cards. I've picked up packs for years since I was a kid, on and off at Walmart or wherever. And
do you get them to collect, or do you play them with people?
I do not play. I just I like the pretty pictures. But in the last several months, I have pulled some pretty great cards, I have to say. Which is cool, because I've never, all my years of pulling cards, I might have gotten one full art and a couple of holos, but I've never really gotten good pulls. But man, opening Shining Fates and Battle Styles and Vivid Voltage and Lost Thunder and Unbroken Bonds and stuff, because I found some Dollar Tree packs at my local Family Dollar. I've been able to find some restocks for Shining Fates and stuff at Walmart. I've got some Champions Path. I've got some Hidden Fates on Target site because of some awesome goat people on Twitter with the restocks and stuff. But yeah, it's just been very fun opening stuff and actually getting good pulls. Like I pulled several gold cards at this point. I pulled some amazing shiny cards. My very first Shining Fates opening in my second pack, I pulled the Shiny Charizard VMAX, which was awesome, and I freaked out, as you guys can tell in my video on my channel. And it's been so much fun actually getting good cards. And of course I bought some online, because after a while you open a number of packs and it's like, you know what, it's cheaper just to get these cards I want. And so my cap is like $30-40 max. Like anything more than that, I'm like, nah dude, I'll try and pull it myself. So I mean, there's just this satisfaction that comes from pulling a card yourself. And I recently got some cards graded, and I have a video coming about that. Just a little sneak peek teaser for all you people listening. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It is coming. That's one of my next videos coming out. But just to have a card that you pulled in your second pack in a set, no less, and then sending it off to get graded, and then seeing that grade in your hand, it's such a better feeling than just buying a card off of eBay or off of Mercari. And it just, like, it's cool having both of them. But yeah, it's your card. You pulled it. There's sentimental value. You remember pulling it. And I'll remember the freak out moment where I pulled that Charizard for the rest of my life.
What's Mercari though?
It is it's kind of like eBay. You can list stuff and people can make offers and stuff on your product. So it's like an online marketplace. MERCARI. But yeah, I use Mercari more than eBay for selling. I've sold some Funko Pops. I'm going to try and sell some cards, probably on eBay, like bulk and
I wonder if anybody's
it's
offering any
extra
good Yu-Gi-Oh cards on there.
I'm pretty sure. For cards, I would recommend probably eBay. Mercari's good for like furniture and clothing and pops and stuff. Pops is where I mostly like. Well, I've gotten some pops off of Mercari, but I'm kind of slowing down on
I'm
pops.
looking it up right now. I've never heard of this website.
Ones I want for like really want, because I kind of went overboard with that last year. So yeah, but yeah, it's a good site. It and eBay both I use very regularly.
I wonder if people list the same thing on both eBay and Mercari, and if they do,
sure they do,
how they can, like, how do they have it set up so that, like, somebody buys one on one site, what happens to it on the other site, you know?
Honestly, I don't know if there's any way to link them together like that. I just, whichever one sold first, and if someone bought the other one 15 minutes after the other person, I'm like, sorry, I just sold this elsewhere, I'm sorry. So
yeah, that's what I'm wondering, how they avoid that. If they
or you can always just list it on just one site. So either way, that's probably the best way to avoid that happening. But
interesting.
But yeah, it's a pretty good site. I'd recommend it. So
let me look for the Magician's Force Dark Magician Girl.
Okay.
See how much money that is. I don't know.
Yeah, Mercari is just as bad as eBay for card scalping. I have gotten some for just a little bit over retail for some shiny face packs and stuff. Good, yes. That is trending for more than the Charizard is trending now. Around the time I pulled that Charizard, it was trending for around 500 to 600, and it's dropped to about 250.
498 for the same card.
Goodness.
Kill me! No. I really want that card. Somebody give me that card, please.
Send him some fan mail, surprise him.
Yeah. To where? I don't have a P.O. box.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one day.
That's a problem.
Maybe if we actually get fans.
Hey, man.
But yeah, before we go, there was two other things I remembered. One was somebody mentioned, I don't know if it was like the summary or something for the copyright of the second Sonic movie, that actually gave a small synopsis, like a small, like, what it's going to be about, which I thought was interesting. Yeah. Did you hear about that?
I did, yep.
So
it was in Brandon's video. He talked about it briefly.
Was it? So, whoever said it, whether it was Brandon or whoever, which I think it was, but for anyone who doesn't know, basically it's Sonic settling in Green Hills now, and I forget the name of the human characters, but they go on vacation, and at the same time they go on vacation, Robotnik returns with Knuckles. Yep. And they're after like an emerald, which I'm guessing is Chaos Emerald. Which is interesting that they say an emerald. So is it going to be one Chaos Emerald, or is it going to be the Master Emerald? So I don't know. Probably going to be one emerald, and then in the next movie they'll probably introduce the fact, there's actually 7 emeralds. But
guess we got to make 7 more movies.
Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like they're somewhat adapting the classic games, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but as well as 2, because the idea in 2 is, hey, Tails joins, and there's some strange power source on the island. Something very simple like that, and whereas the power source is the emeralds on the island. Or no, what was it? I remember in the first game there was 6 Chaos Emeralds. In the second game, the 7th one was lost until that game, and they pick up on the readings, or Eggman or /Robotnik picks up on the or something. So that's why they go to West Side Island, which is where the second game takes place. So it sounds like they're just meshing in everything to be like Tails teams up with Sonic and Tails meet for the first time, I'm assuming, and also Robotnik comes back with Knuckles, who he probably tricked just like in the games. And I'm like, nice, this is gonna be awesome. Yeah. Did you see the first one?
Oh yeah. My brother and some friends of ours went and saw it on Valentine's Day, the night it released, and we really liked it.
I'm so glad.
I was really happy with it,
because I saw it as I had a lot of fun watching. It was a fun movie, but the entire time I was like, this is going to lead to an even better movie. Like the sequel is going to be like, once they really start bringing in characters and and Jim Carrey's Robotnik actually looks like Robotnik, like he did at the end. Like once, like basically the first Sonic movie set up the second one to be like what it should be. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing. I'm so glad it played out that way. And I'm like, yes, finally, the Sonic 2 is going to be so awesome.
Yeah. And the first one, I heard a lot of people, like, well, Sonic doesn't... And it just... I like the more childish Sonic because he is just starting out. He's been in isolation since he got to Earth, so it kind of makes sense that he would be more childish and more reserved. So it just... It's going to give him a chance to grow as a character, and I think that's really cool. And, of course... Like, I think Ben Schwartz did a great job as Sonic, to be honest. Like, when I first heard his voice, I was like, yeah, I'm not... And it grew on me. It really did. And I love his design. That was the best move, and I give Paramount the utmost
That's why I was like,
for
take
changing
my money,
his design.
because you need to see that, like...
Yes.
Following what fans want is a plus. Like, the fact that you went back to the drawing board, got one of the Sonic comic artists that's really popular, Tyson Hess, great job on his part for what he does and what he did do for the movie. But the fact that they went out of their way to not only just be like, oh, let's just redesign ourselves. No, they actually got someone who knows what they're doing to redesign it. The fact that they listened, I was like, take my money. Like,
for real.
I want that. I want companies to listen. So, yeah, I was so happy with that. And I'm really curious, because at the end of at this point we know Tails is going to be in the second movie. It's not that much of a spoiler to say Tails appeared at the very end of the first game.
Not to mention that it was in the title for the second. It's in like the title teaser for the second movie too.
So, but what I was going to say is that the voice actor for Tails for the games, she did Tails' voice in that, like, credits scene that he appeared in. So I'm wondering, is Sonic the only one who's not going to have his game voice actor, or did they just do that until they find a celebrity to voice Tails?
I hope they keep Colleen O'Shaughnessy for his voice, because I like her voice as Sonic. I mean, as Tails. And
at the very least, do you think we'll get a celebrity to voice Knuckles? A lot of people want to Rock.
I've heard people say Dwayne Johnson. Yep, that'd be honestly really cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like Seth Rogen might be a good fit for Knuckles. I mean, there's not.
I guess it depends on his personality. Like,
so
if they kind of write him similar to his, like, quote-unquote idiotic version in Sonic Boom, which is funny in its own. Like, Knuckles isn't that stupid, but, like, in Sonic Boom, that adaptation he is, like... So if they write him like that, I can see Seth Rogen voicing him. But if they write him more like his game counterpart, I can't really see Seth Rogen voicing him.
Oh yeah, I was thinking, I was like, Seth Rogen's voice maybe would fit. I think kind of John Cena's voice would fit pretty well for him. I would think. But
what about who is it? Batista, or the guy who plays Zax in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, Drax.
Drax, not Zax.
What's his name? David Bautista. Yeah. He would be good. Yeah, Drax is one of my favorite characters from Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Drax. But yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm just so excited for that.
Yeah, it has a lot of potential, and I thought Jim Carrey nailed it in the first movie. He was great.
Basically, if you aren't too into Sonic, the first movie is still enjoyable from just watching Jim Carrey's performance. Like, that's just fun on its own. See, I'm coming into it as a fan who also likes Jim Carrey. Yeah. So I got a double dose of awesome. I was like, yes, this is a Sonic movie, and yes, Jim Carrey's awesome.
And I'm not the biggest Sonic fan. I've always liked the characters, but yeah, I'm a big Jim Carrey fan too. I love The Mask, and The Grinch is one of my favorite Christmas movies solely because of that man. He was awesome in that. And I mean, there's some other movies he's done like Liar Liar that I'm a big fan of and stuff. Yeah. But he is a funny dude. I mean,
and his Robotnik isn't exactly like the version in the games.
Yeah.
So, the same way Sonic's not like he's in the games. So Tails and Knuckles could also not be how they are in the games, because this is an adaptation. At the end of the day, Like when I can understand why people can get annoyed when some characters are not like their counterparts in official or canon media, but at the end of the day, I get around it by thinking this is not part of the main canon. This is an adaptation. And if you think of it like that, like think of it as a multiverse, and this is like an alternate universe, and it's like, let's explore this universe's version of Sonic while we put the main one on the back burner. It's like when you look at it that way, for any series, even if you look at a movie, like a movie adaptation, or like a completely different video game adapted into a movie that's usually kind of crappy because it didn't follow the story to a T of its game counterpart. Like, don't think of it like that. Think of it as like an alternate universe. It's like, okay, the game is still canon in a different universe to this movie. It's like, this is how it's playing out in this universe, though. Like, it always helps me feel like better about it. Like, okay, they're not saying that the game didn't happen. They're saying, well, this is happening in a different universe.
Yeah.
And that always helps me like accept the crappier decisions.
Oh yeah.
some instances.
And you have to, the director has to have some creative license. I mean,
yeah.
Now, there are cases where that's not a good call, like the first Sonic design, and that may have just been Paramount's doing, like, no, design him to look like a demonic hedgehog monster thing, but it just, still, the teeth, just, my nightmares. I still would have loved to see at least some deleted scenes or something with that design, just to see what the disaster that we avoided because of their decision to redesign him. So that was
but they also didn't actually, according to them, they didn't have most of the movie animated with him. Like, it was really sort of at least just the trailer. So they don't have an alternate version of the movie. They would have to actually animate. Like, they would actually have to animate the movie again with that amount of Sonic.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about like the whole movie, just like scenes where they did have it done, and it was like half animated, so we could see like the horror of
that
like
just makes me wonder.
Tipo Sonic. So
that just makes me wonder if there's any designs of using that style for like the echidnas that appeared in the beginning, or Baby Sonic, or Tails in the post-credit scene. Is there like the horrific teeth versions of them too? And how did Longclaw look? Or was Longclaw the name of the Sonic's
that sounds
adoptive mother? Longclaw, something Claw. I think it was Longclaw. But yeah, so I'm excited to see what we have going on.
As you spoke of crappy movies based on video games that strayed from the source material, have you seen the Monster Hunter movie?
No, but I still want to.
Okay. I was going to ask you what your opinion was on it.
See, I don't actually know this for sure, but I think the story has to do with these characters not from the world having like gone through a portal and got pulled into the Monster Hunter world. And if I think of it that way, I'm not too upset with the tanks and guns, because I'm like, okay, they're not native to that world.
Yep. And what else are you going to use to fight giant dragons and monsters? So.
Yeah, but I think that it sounds like those tanks and guns kind of probably get destroyed, and then she has to like team up with people who are native to that world and like kind of use weapons by their rules. That's what I think it is, and if that is the case, then I'm like, okay, that's okay. But I did hear, I saw, what's his name? Angry Joe show. I saw his review of the movie, and basically it sounds like it's just a fun movie. Like, even if it's not a good adaptation, it sounds like it's just a fun time. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I do want to eventually see it. So, okay. But the other, I did mention there were two things. The only other thing, I won't get into it because we're at the hour now. But I just did want to mention that I did play Resident Evil Village, which is the new Resident Evil 8. It's a lot of fun, so maybe next time I'll get into that. But yeah, I'm sort of playing my second playthrough of it now.
Okay, you can tell us all about Vamp Mommy. Yep. So.
Oh God. I don't understand the meme, but it's funny.
Strescu, is that her name?
It's pronounced. Well, actually, characters pronounce it differently in the game. Okay. So, one says Dimitrescu, and they're like Dimitrescu. So the D-I, I guess, makes the da sound instead of di. But then I think I've heard Dimitrescu. So it's either Dimitrescu or Dimitrescu.
Okay.
But it's like the U at the end is silent. So, but there is the C, so it's something Tresque. It's interesting. So she's actually based on a Japanese yokai. It's like the 10-foot lady. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I was, because in the game, I used the in-game currency points to unlock all the concept art and all the like figures, which are basically all the models in the game of characters. Yeah. And so I was reading the descriptions, and they actually like explain some stuff. Like Dimitrescu was based on the, like I said, the yokai of the 10-foot lady. There's a couple others off the top of my head I don't remember, but like it's like the art director's description. It's like interesting to see, you know, what they were kind of going for some of these designs, and some stuff was based on things like stuff I wouldn't even thought of. Like there's a character who uses a puppet, and and she wears like this black almost like not funeral, but like this black garb, like the face is covered, and the doll is very white and like it almost like in a wedding dress, and they both kind of the design they were going for was like a life and death. And I'm like, I didn't really notice that until it was pointed out, and now it's cool. And the fact that she's all dark and like, you know, her face is covered and everything, she's also kind of designed to be more like a ghost in that sense. I'm like, interesting. Okay. So it's like they're just like seeing like where they were going with some designs was really cool. But yeah, I guess that'll wrap it up for today. Hopefully we'll be back next week. That's the plan, at least. Anything you want to say before we go?
Just thank you guys for your patience during this time while we were away. We are going to try and get back to doing this regularly, at least every week or two. So, and we do plan to still have guests. We still plan to have Papa Gino's and others on the show that are in regular rotation. So even if one of us isn't able to record, someone else is going to be able to take the reins. So
that's the plan, at least. I was talking to Alpha, that there was somebody I was talking to as a potential new co-host, which should help with the quote-unquote rotation, or you know, every week, or you know, whenever. But having that extra person will help in those instances to hopefully get us to have a new episode every week. And I'm hoping we don't fall behind by a year again.
Yeah.
And you know, it wasn't planned, and I think the whole pandemic thing, you know, even in your case, because you at the time you were going to the church to record, and just having to go out of your house, you know, it's like, I'm not gonna, well, I never was gonna force you to begin with, and but I mean, I'm not gonna tell you there's a pandemic and I want you to leave your house. You know.
Yeah. Plus, like, if it was raining or something, I didn't want to get my laptop jacked up in the rain or anything like that. So. And
with thankfully you still had your job, but like, I don't know how what Brandon's situation or anyone who's been in the regular rotation. I don't know what their situations were. I didn't actually ask what their situation. You know, I found everybody's okay. Thank God, everyone's fine, doing okay. No one, you know, knock on wood, anything bad happened to them. But I didn't like really ask people like, why can't you record? You know, I'm never gonna do that. So, you know, it's always like, when you can. I'm not forcing anybody to be on. So during the pandemic, it was especially understandable when people couldn't join, because you know, they're doing things to survive. You know, so hopefully that's all done with, and hopefully we could get back to what was normal, which was, you know, once a week or once every 2 weeks, if we can't do a week. We're probably going to aim for Tuesday or Friday recording, or Saturday or Sunday if that doesn't work. But we're going to attempt to get an episode a week, and hopefully we didn't lose any. Hopefully we're not down to 0 fans anymore, because we did have a couple of people who actually listened, and it was fun interacting with you guys in the Discord, and even talking to you guys in the comments, and hoping you guys can come back to that. You know, and hopefully we could just continue to grow stronger and get even more fans. And bring more guests, and I really want this to build, and it was very difficult during the pandemic. So let's hope we can continue on with whatever season of the show this is at this point. Mm-hmm. So I guess with that, we will hopefully be back next week.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
That's funny.
It's like you've got all these big, beefy monsters like that summon darkness and stone, and then she's just like, "Senpai,